Referees, John Napolitan and George Moss. Linesman, Joe Redfield.
Good evening from Port Huron's McMorran Arena, and welcome to the CPHS Channel 6 telecast of tonight's hockey game between the Big Reds of Port Huron and the Huskies of Port Huron Northern. This is Don Button. It's my pleasure to be on this telecast along with Ken Harris. And here's Ken with the lineups for the Big Reds of Port Huron.
Yeah, good evening hockey fans and good evening holiday fans. We'd like to announce the starting lineup for Port Huron High School if we can get in here for the national anthem. In goal tonight for Port Huron High is Chris Moretz. At defense is number 2, Mr. Sheffer, Jason Sheffer. And at defense, number 19, Joel Heimbach. At forward for Port Huron High School is number 9, Dennis Thick, number 12, Keith Thomas, and number 17, Dominic Rivera.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we'd watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket fragment, the bomb bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just to finish a little bit about Port Huron High School. If we're going to have a good game for Port Huron High School tonight, we'll come in here at 0-6. We're going to need good goaltending from Chris Moretz, and we're going to need some scoring from senior Dennis Shannon, and hopefully a strong game from the Big Red defense. Now I'll turn it over to a little highlights of Northern by Don Button.
The starting lineup for the Huskies of Northern and goal, number 1, Mike Gladson. On defense, number 5, Aaron Curry. And also number 8, Chris Sox. The forward line starting for the Huskies, number 9, Jason Fletcher, number 17, Steve McGregor, and number 19, Rob Rowling. The Huskies enter this game with an impressive 6-2 record. Their last game a week ago, a road game lost to Trenton 5-1, but Trenton is the number 1 rated team in the state, and the Huskies found out in that game what they've got to work on to be competitive at that level. The Huskies' strength is their experience and their forward lines. They could come out with Steve McGregor, Fletcher, and Rowling, come right back at you with Hinton, Smith, and Diamond, and then a strong skating, playmaking line of Waite, Bennett, and Heyer. Their inexperience is at the defenseman ranks. The kids there are only inexperienced at the high school level. They've played many years in minor hockey at that level. Mike Gladson and Brad St. Ange, they have just what I believe is probably the strongest goaltending duo in the state, with Anthony Partapillo, a freshman, waiting in the wings, as both those goalies are seniors. Getting ready for the start of play. Referees for tonight's game, John Napolitan and George Moss. The linesman, Joe Redfield. Four-year veteran Steve, make that Keith Thomas, getting ready for the face-off with Fletcher. Fletcher wins back on defense. Back up to Steve McGregor, who tips it into the big red zone. Thomas beats him to the puck. Now Fletcher fighting along the boards. Out comes number 9, Thick, who was fought off the puck. And we have a whistle. 17 seconds into the first period.
Jim Cornwall. The official scorer, Dick Chauvin. On the official clock, Jim.
Well, Don, it's the first matchup this season here, and both of them come in here with the last 2 games. Both of them have lost, even though Northern played a much tougher schedule so far.
Right. Hepting now on the ice for the Big Reds. Heinbuck fought off the puck by Big Fletcher. Cleared by the Big Reds. Going back, Chris Sox taking a look. Tips it back to Rolling. Now we're to Fletcher. Headman pass just missing the mark for McGregor. Steaming after the puck. Rolling couldn't get there quite in time to get away with the icing call. 50 seconds into the first period here on a chilly night at McMorran. No score.
Yeah, chilly to say the least, Don. It's kind of hard to figure with winter starting tomorrow, and we've had a month and a half of this weather already, and it kind of looks like it's affected our crowd a bit tonight.
A very slim crowd at this point. Maybe the freeways are loaded with cars. Shannon, Dennis Shannon on the draw. Cleared smartly and down the right wing. Gary Diamond in front of the net. Saved by Moretz. Justin Smith. The Big Reds cleared out. Here goes Josh Gardner after the puck. Burgess beats him to it. Nick Burgess. Here comes Gardner again. Back to the point. Truskowski's shot is deflected. Didn't get through. Matt Shannon takes his hit. Senior defenseman Wayne Stanislawski. Cleared out by Diamond, back to Truskowski. Now Stanislawski over to Burgess. Big Red's doing a pretty good job of forechecking. Got the line of Williams, Singer, and Talmadge out. Nick Burgess reverses the flow. Out comes Waite, Jason Waite. Joel Heinbeck knocks it into the Husky zone, no icing call. Now Nick Spear drops it out to the neutral zone. Fighting after the puck, number 20, Nathan Heyer. Waite, here's Bennett shooting just wide. Josh Bennett, Johnny on the spot. Taking the centering pass and just missing the best scoring opportunity of the game. And again, Bennett, fans on his pass from the corner. Out comes number 9, Thick, Dennis Thick. Nathan Heyer. Keith Thomas lined back out there with Dennis Shannon. Thomas snapshot just wide. Back to Jason Sheffer. Dominic Oliveira. Back to Thomas. Some pretty good hitting going on out there. Sheffer shoots it smartly into the corner rather than risking a breakaway. Again, Sheffer stops it. Here's Oliveira, hooked down. We're going to have a penalty. He beat Josh Bennett to the puck, and Bennett gave him a little bit too big of a tug. And with 11:32 left in the first period, the Big Reds go on the power play.
Well, Don, early in the game, it looks like an inspired Big Red team and a less than inspired Porter Northern team. Even though Northern had a real good chance by Nate Heyer down there by the net, Northern really hasn't really looked the part yet. And Portland High is kind of just playing a defensive game and making Northern make a couple mistakes.
Doing a good job of forechecking and keeping the Huskies from winding up. On the power play, Dennis Shannon, Josh Gardner, And Matt Shannon, centering pass to Gardner, held it too long and cleared the length of the ice by the Huskies. That was Ruthven out penalty killing. Ruthven again, and it's cleared out to the neutral zone. That goes Newberry, Jason Newberry. Dennis Shannon and Stanislawski clears it back to the neutral zone with a minute 15 left in the power play. Dennis Shannon, Truskowski dumps it into the Husky zone. Sox misses the puck. Now the Huskies come up with it. Shot the length of the rink and on goal, stopped by Moretz. And we have a goal, a loose puck, and we have a goal by Rob Rolling.
Well, Don, there was no big red there to control that rebound at all, and Rob Rolling filled the part of the goal scorer that he is, took complete advantage of it, and buried that one in the net.
I'm glad you saw it, Ken, because I took my eye off the play for a minute to catch who the Northern player was that cleared it, and I looked back, the puck was in the net with 10:27 left in the first period.
Yeah, Rob Rolling, I would say, got this goal and the assist on that play.
It's a chance for Thick, beaten to the puck by Burgess. Nick Burgess, two-timed in the corner, out come the Big Reds. Dennis Thick, back to Sheffer, back to Thick, and now the Huskies get it. Van Ness clears it the length of the ice with 30 seconds left in the penalty to Bennett. Again, the Huskies, this time Nick Burgess sends it the length of the ice. Here's a break and the fake didn't work. As Dennis Sick tried to beat his man one-on-one. Heimbuck, long pass. That goes off the stick, and back come the Huskies, sending it the length of the ice with the penalty expired. Justin Smith, the hard-working centerman, fought off the puck. A little scrum in the corner, and we're going to have a penalty.
Yeah, Don, on that Porter Northern goal, I got to give a lot of credit to Jeremy Van Ness. He did set the play up down this end, and he did get an assist on it. And probably without giving him any lack of recognition, I think he's been their standout defenseman so far the early part of the season.
Jeremy Van Ness, 5'11", 170-pound junior in his second season with the Huskies. He's got a tremendous shot from the point as well.
2 minutes for checking from behind.
Heinbeck
Title the penalty, 5:52 first period.
getting the penalty for the Big Reds. We're checking from behind. Fletcher gets the draw. On with Hinton on the power play. Chris Sox snaps it just wide. Rob Rolling on the other point. Here comes Fletcher, looking for Hinton. Centering pass, tipped nicely by the Big Reds. McGregor, over to Sox. McGregor again. McGregor back to Fletcher in the corner, playing the baseline. McGregor again. They're holding on the puck a little bit too long. And the pass goes between the point men with a minute 10 left on the Heinbeck penalty. The Huskies reload. Shot the length of the ice, but on goal, so play is still alive. And now snapped out to the neutral zone, where Nick Smear sends it back to Van Ness. Up to Justin Smith. Gary Diamond out there with him. Nick Smear shoots it into the far corner. Stopped at the point nicely by Van Ness. Sets up Smith. He shoots just wide. Good wrist shot. As the Huskies looking very dangerous at this point. A good wrist shot by Spear, and an equally good save by freshman goalie Chris Moretz.
Yeah, Don, Portland Northern looked real impressive that last 10 seconds there when they really controlled the puck, and they waited for the screen to take effect, and they had a real good chance on goal, and it was a nice stop by Chris Moretz.
Huskies seem to be enjoying quite a physical advantage here as far as giving out checks, and the other team's ability not to take the checks as well. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Back to the point to Van Ness, winds up, booming shot, tipped just wide. I believe it hit Justin Smith's stick, in front of the net, the handle of his stick, over the glass, with 7:21 remaining in the first period.
Well, you and I had talked about earlier before the game started there, this Portland High School team, is a young team, and when we talk about size too, Northern is dominant in size and stuff, and Portland High School's got a lot of young, small players, but very willing to play.
They'll get better. Jason Sheffer, one of the freshmen, doing a good job of controlling the puck in his defensive zone. Sheffer again clears it the length of the ice, and it's icing as the power play had just ended. The 7:01 left in the first period. The Huskies won. The Big Reds no score.
Well, good move by the Portland High defenseman, not taking time to look at the clock and just keeping Northern from getting a real good chance by scoring there.
Just had a close-up of sophomore defenseman Chris Hall playing his first year with the Huskies. Wrist shot by the Huskies doesn't get through. That was Nate Heyer. Could have been a dangerous scoring chance. Heyer plays with reckless abandon, centering pass. Stopped by the Big Reds. Out comes Talmadge. Down the left wing. Takes a pretty good shot by Nate Heyer. Good shoulder hit as Chris Hall winds up behind the net. Pass doesn't get through. Oh, out comes the Huskies. Now they go for a line change. Ian Singer met right in front of the Husky bench. Now shot in by the Big Reds. Nick Burgess back to the neutral zone. Here comes Big Rob rolling, going to the backhander. Stopped by Moretz and cleared the length of the ice by Oliveira. That's Dominic Oliveira. 5:52 remaining, first period.
Well, young Chris Moretz looks pretty sharp tonight, Don, and I think he's going to have to remain that way to keep Portland High in the game tonight.
He's got good lateral movement, and he'll need it tonight. Very good lateral movement. Huskies win the draw, dumped in by Rolling, covered by Moretz. Fans still streaming in. On the face-off, Keith Thomas and Jason Fletcher. Won by the Big Reds. Cleared into the neutral zone. I think that's part of their game plan to try to neutralize the Huskies by dumping the puck out of their defensive zone. Truskowski. Picked up by Stanislawski. Covered by Moretz. 5:23 remaining in the first period. Huskies won, the Big Reds no score.
Yeah, one comment you made, Don, you're absolutely correct. Portland High can't really hang on that puck real long in their zone. Otherwise, Northern's going to be on top of them, smother them, and cause a turnover. What they got to do is look for that long passing, and the pass has got to be outside the zone.
Yep. Yeah, the tendency to hold on to the puck too long will hurt you. Justin Smith on the face-off. Out comes Hinton, back to the point. Chris Sox, hard shot, goal! I believe that was tipped in by Hinton. The hard shot by Sox from the point. And we're waiting for word on who gets credit for the goal.
Yeah, it'll be at a glance. Look, it was either number 14 or, like you say, Hinton that tipped that one in, Don.
Deflected about 10 feet in front of the net and possibly through the 5-hole. And the Huskies go to a 2-0 lead. Huskies win the face-off. Now turn the puck over, Hinton picks it up. Sent back into the Husky zone, stopped by Gladson. Big Aaron Curry, sophomore defenseman. And offside at the blue line.
Those 50-50 tickets are still on sale.
Oh, assist in the northern goal, Don, go to Chris Sox and to Justin Smith.
If you haven't got one bought, Jim Benson.
Goal by Kevin Hinton. Josh Bennett wins the faceoff. Shot on goal from Van Ness, stopped by Moretz. Here comes Williams on the right wing. Shot deep into the zone. By Ian Singer. 4:29 remaining in the first period. Ian Singer on the face-off with Fletcher. Huskies clear it, could be icing. It's not. Picked up by Newberry. Kept in the big red zone. Now Big McGregor fights his man off the puck. Jason Fletcher. Nice pass to the point. Wrist shot by Smear. Tipped by McGregor, but tipped wide. Now a nice poke check by Truskowski. Steady defenseman of the Big Reds. Kept in by Van Ness. Now here comes number 6 for the Big Reds, Williams. And Smear tips it into the Big Red zone, picked up by Rob Rolling. Checked by Truskowski, centering pass Smith, and deflected in front of the net. Smith had a glorious scoring opportunity.
Nice speed by Rob Rolling on that play.
He's got that burst of speed all right. Nice interception, shot just wide. That was Keith Thomas with a good scoring chance. Kept in by Heinbeck. Kevin Hinton clears into the neutral zone. Shot right back in by Dennis Thick. Wayne Stanislawski behind the net. Thick comes up with it, back to the point. As Gary Diamond doing a good job of tying up his man. And the Huskies come up with it. Yeah. The goalie Gladson hands it to Oliveira, but gets away with it. And cleared out to the neutral zone on goal, stopped by Moretz. As the Huskies go for a line change. Jason Sheffer takes a hit from big number 4. Jason Waite, shot from the point, hits the post. Hall shot from the point, beat Moretz cleanly and hit the far post. 2:02 remaining in the first period. Port Huron Northern 2, Port Huron no score.
Well, Don, I didn't understand the strategy of Port Huron High that shift there. When they headed in the northern end, they had 3 guys at the blue line. And one of their strongest offensive players, and one who's played for them for 3 years, Keith Thomas, was playing back in the blue line. So you're not going to beat Northern from the blue line.
No. Big Reds win the draw. Scott Truskowski fighting for the puck with Nathan Heyer. In comes Shannon like a bumblebee. Josh Gardner, giveaway in his own zone, stopped by Bennett. Heyer puts a hit on the Big Reds' Newberry. 1:30 left in the first period. Hall from the point again. And a screenshot, Brent saw it at the last minute and covered nicely. 1:27 remaining, first period.
Yeah, it almost looked like Nate Heyer possibly tipped that, and Chris Moretz come up with a nice save.
Nate Heyer never stops working. Good things happen when you work. Fletcher on the face-off. Wins the face-off, point blank, shoots just wide. Williams stopped by McGregor. Burgess comes on a solo rush, dumps it into the Big Red zone, where Heinbeck and Rolling fight for the puck. Centering pass, shot by Fletcher, good wrist shot, stopped by Moretz.
Well, Moretz, a freshman goaltender, has played real well here, covered up on a lot of them, scores 2-0, but no indication of his play at all.
And he'll only get better with 3 more years ahead of him after this year. .101 remaining in the first period. Keith Thomas on the face-off with Fletcher. Big Reds win the face-off. As we have quite a scrum going on. Now sent into the neutral zone where it's picked up by the steady Sox. Nice pass to Fletcher. Now Fletcher breaks around his man and Truskowski sends it back into the neutral zone as the Huskies have to tag up and then go for a line change. 28 seconds remaining. Out to the neutral zone. Jeremy Van Ness over to coming down Nick Burgess, centering pass and shooting just wide is Stanislawski with a great scoring chance. Stanislawski again behind the net, centering pass, covered, the net's off the mooring and the buzzer goes off, ending the first period with the Huskies enjoying most of the scoring chances. And they have a 2-0 lead after 15 minutes of play.
Play Gratiot Point and play north side.
Well, Don, Port Northern's ahead by 2-0, and Chris Moretz has kept the score down, but I really don't think Northern is up to their potential yet tonight, too. I think they've got a little jet lag from all the road travel they've had. And
probably. They had a tough scrimmage last night over at Glacier with Birmingham Brother Rice, and I imagine they were pushed to the limit in that one. It was an evenly fought game from what I understand. They had a good 2-hour scrimmage.
Well, that's good for them, and you figure that, they were on the road up to Sault Ste. Marie, and then they were down to Trenton, and they've almost kind of been like what you would say, as far as travel goes, one of them semi-pro teams, one of them bus trips, so.
The I-75 run, they encountered big-time snow at the Sioux. They were there right at the beginning of the fierce part of that storm that hit up there about a week and a half ago. And I've heard quite a few tales of digging out from the Saturday night storm. Cases where entire cars were covered by the snow.
Birthday announcement this evening, Mary Van Fletcher, although she refused to give her age.
Yeah, and it was really coincidental about it with Portland Northern's coach, being from around that area at one time, why he was even surprised by the amount of snow they had up there.
Heard one story about a car, the only thing you could see was the radio antenna in the motel parking lot.
Well, that's the experience that Portland Northern's going to have if they want to do good in postseason play. So
the thing that probably saved them, they had an excellent team navigator in Jim Bennett to make sure nobody got lost.
Oh.
As we start the second period, the Huskies win the draw. Van Ness stopped by Sheffer. Sheffer and offside are the Big Reds as Sheffer cleared it into the zone. Big Red anticipated and got in a little bit too quick.
Jim Bennett still got that blue and gold compass that he uses. Must have had somebody else read it for him, huh?
It just keeps spinning around like he's in the Bermuda Triangle. Big Reds win the face-off and shot over the glass by Thick as we have our second whistle in 18 seconds of action.
Well, I know Portland High don't want to get caught here, but even right then, before the whistle had blown and stuff, Portland High had thrown the thing in, and all the forwards were still laying back. And Portland High can't do this to play with Northern.
Sheffer, the freshman defenseman, tips it smartly into the Husky zone. Alvera out there with Thick. Sheffer, another nice play, stopping a potential dangerous play by the Huskies. Olivero takes quite a hit from Nick Smear. There's Van Ness. And out comes Hinton, the crafty Hinton. But the Big Reds beat him to the puck and send it back into the neutral zone and now into the Husky zone. Dennis Thick, pass to Olivera. Up come the Huskies, Hinton holding onto the puck and then going for a line change. Now we have a whistle.
One of them very unusual two-line passes. Or, oh no, excuse me, I think it was intentional offsides.
Okay. Yeah, we had the Big Red player coming off the ice. That one confused me for a minute.
And he made sure he touched it, so
they wouldn't get trapped in their own zone. Out come the Big Reds. Dennis Shannon, the speedy Dennis Shannon. Beats his man on the outside, centering pass. Nobody there. Covered easily by Gladchen. Senior goalie Mike Gladchen.
Well, very unselfish play by Dennis Shannon, but Don, I really think that he might have had the better shot of the play there and then hope for one of his teammates to get the rebound.
Nathan Heyer takes a hit from Shannon. Out come the Huskies. Heyer beats his man on the outside. And covered by Moretz, who made a quick turnaround to see who had whacked at his glove. Discussing it with referee George Moss.
Well, the defensemen got to give their goaltender a little help, but also the officials, when they see that puck covered, got to get that whistle blown too.
Certainly do. Fletcher on the face-off with Shannon, Dennis Shannon. Sox back at the point. And Fletcher just misses what would have been a point-blank chance as the Big Reds come out. Zigging and zagging, here comes Shannon. All with Josh Gardner. Shot doesn't quite make it to the net as Curry passes up to Rolling. Out comes Sox. big skill improvement in this lad. He's a dangerous offensive player as well. And his shot is just wide on the inside as he made a crafty move to get within scoring chances. Josh Gardner one-on-one with Sox. Gardner coming in. Good poke check by Sox. He made that look easy as Curry comes up with the puck. Here comes big Fletcher. Over to McGregor. Josh Gardner clears it into the neutral zone. 12 minutes remaining, second period. Back to Stanislavski. Long pass at the blue line. Rolling. Shoots. Scores! Pick that Gary Diamond on a smart pass from Stanislavski. And Rex didn't have much of a chance as the right-handed shooter Diamond, with the puck on the center of the ice, found the far side, and the Huskies go off to a 3-0 lead.
Really nice play there by Diamond. If you really watch the play and stuff, he made a look to the other winger over there, and the goaltender watched as he looked and kind of just took his eye off the net, and he just drilled it in the far side of the net. Very deceptive move, very nice move.
Just inside of the post. Stanislavski out to the neutral zone. And Nick Burgess beats them all to the puck.
And number 11, second goal, 3:05, second period.
On the ice for the Big Reds, Talmadge, Williams, Kevin Hinton delivers a check. Once again, Stanislavski getting a lot of action on defense today. Behind the net, long breakaway pass at center ice. Doesn't quite get through to Hire. Here comes Josh Bennett. Oh, he's looking for the man. Beats his man, coming in point blank. Centering pass, shoots, goal! This hard-working Nathan Hire takes a great pass from the equally hard-working Josh Bennett. And the Huskies go off to a 4-0 lead.
On that third Portland Northern goal, Burgess and Hinton both got assists on the third goal.
Nate Hire made no mistake on Bennett's setup pass. And once again, Chris Moretz had no chance as he covers the long shot in by the Huskies. 10:43 remain in the second period.
On that fourth Northern goal, assist to Waite and Bennett.
Yeah, Waite made the long pass, I believe, from his defensive blue line. That play developed very quickly. For the Huskies, Ruthven loses the draw, but Stanislavski comes back up with it. Takes a hit from Keith Thomas. Truskowski takes a hit from Ruthven. Truskowski back. Out come the Big Reds. Dennis Thick over to Thomas. Centering pass, nice centering pass by Thomas, but Nick Burgess doing a good job defensively, breaks up that one. Here's a break in on Stanislavski, and a tremendous save by Moretz, who kicked out his left skate and got a piece of that scoring chance. And now Ruthven shoots just wide. Here comes McGregor. Oliveira tips it into the corner, Thomas. Here comes Thick, hooked a little bit. That rhymes. Van Ness. Jeremy Van Ness gathering speed. Splits the defense and shoots. And the puck goes in on the rebound. Now the question is whether the net was off the mooring or not.
Well, Don, from here it looked like when the puck come down the air, I thought his hand pushed it into the net, but we'll see what the officials call it as. But a great individual effort from end to end, and it's too bad we have the little skirmishes after. But Moretz made a big save on the initial shot.
Certainly did. Didn't know where the puck was at first. It was down at his skates. The puck eventually went in the net. Still not an indication as to whether there's a goal or not. There's been some penalties dished out for the scuffle in front of the net. Looks like possibly Heidebeck and Van Ness. .9:31 remaining in the second period as the referees sort this one out.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up with a couple of roughing penalties. I see they just got 2 minutes apiece on the clock, but well, maybe we got a little extra. I see we got an extra big red going in over there, Don.
The Big Reds have come up with 2 penalties. The Huskies appear to have 1 penalty. This is Dominic Oliveira also has gone off. The goal does not count as the face-off comes out over the blue line.
Well, in our great instant replay format, it did look like after he made that great save, it dropped down, and as Van Ness skated in there, and his hand you could see drop down, and I don't think he intentionally pushed in, but it did go in off his glove, so that's probably why they called it back.
Huskies on a 4-on-3 power play.
Big Red penalties. Number 1,
Chris Sox.
Number 19, Joel Heidebeck, roughing. Husky penalty. Number 10, Jerry Van Ness, roughing. All penalties called at 5:29.
Captain Wayne and Stanislawski out to Justin Smith. Held up nicely, very nicely by Dennis Shannon. The crafty Dennis Shannon as the Big Reds cleared into the neutral zone. Justin Smith beats the first man, comes into the high slot, centering pass, stopped by Moretz, covered by Moretz. With 8:38 remaining in the second period, 1:07 in the penalties.
Well, I'll tell you, Diamond and Smith both looked real well on that play there as they shuffled that puck back and forth and ended up getting a good chance on goal there.
Huskies win the draw, but now the Big Reds come up with the puck with Dennis Shannon. And his hard work looks like it has resulted in a Northern hooking penalty. Make that a high sticking penalty. And that'll leave it up sides for about a minute, and then for 1 minute the Big Reds will have a power play. 4-0 Huskies.
Well, that's good. We all got an opinion on that one. I kind of like you. I thought there was going to be a different call than what it was called, but I guess they're a little bit closer to the action than what we are. But there definitely was a little interference or roughing or high sticking or holding, anything you want to call it. But
Husky penalty number 6.
Their eyesight's probably a little better than mine, too.
Timeout penalty 6:34, second period.
Appears that we have a timeout.
yeah, I think those referees do have an eye exam before every game, don't you, Don?
Yeah. Big Reds have called the timeout. You're allowed 1 60-second timeout per game. Big Reds electing to do it at this point.
Well, I hope the fans don't get too upset. I see the clock's running down.
Oh my God. The clock's gone haywire. It's running. Well, Jim Finger's wedge will rectify the situation, I'm sure, with the capable help of Dick Chauvin.
Yeah, I think we should give Jim Wedge a lot of credit in there. You know, being as impartial as what he is, you know, from downriver or as better known as Dream City.
Jim's the future mayor of Marysville.
Yeah, maybe we can zoom in on him later if we get that guy with the long gray hair to move a little bit.
Yeah. Talking a mile a minute. There you have a look at some of the fans here watching this game. As 8:26 remains in the second period, with the Huskies enjoying a 4-0 lead. Dennis Shannon wins the face-off, slap shot from the point, stopped easily by Gladchen. That was Truskowski shooting from the point. Jason Sheffer taking a look. Nice pass to Truskowski, beats his man on the outside. In the corner, where Nick Smear comes up with the puck. Team skating 3-on-3. Strange things happen in this kind of combination. As the Big Reds break, Shannon. Wrist shot, doesn't make it through. That could have been dangerous.
Yeah, he had the goaltender going down, Don. Good idea.
And almost on a breakaway was Rob Rolling. Comes up the puck in the corner. Fought off nicely, very nicely by Sheffer. Screaming shot from the point, gets up a little high. As Stanilowski got it up a little bit high, and Bretz made an easy save.
Nice shot from the point, though, Don. That Stanislawski has a real good shot. A little high that time, but I think maybe he's figuring that little guy in net there, he might be able to zing one over his shoulder.
On the face-off, Big Reds come up with the puck. Jason Newberry. Keith Thomas around the defenseman on the far side. Van S comes up with it, takes a look, shoots it the length of the ice as the Big Reds are on a power play now. With 7 minutes remaining in the second period, Heinbuck takes a pretty good hit from Hinton. I'm sure he'll return that favor later on.
New addition. I'm going to say a new addition to the Northern lineup who had a good game against Jacksonville and Christie is Ruthven.
John Ruthven, the senior who's played some Bantam, Midget, and Junior action in the Detroit area, Lakeland, returning to Northern for his senior year of hockey. Keith Thomas. Back to the point. Heinbeck's shot stopped easily by Gladchen. 6:20 remaining in the second period.
Well, it must be a coach's dream to have so much depth, and when you have one line that doesn't play real well, that you've got 2 and 3 other lines that can step right in and take right over, and I guess that's what Northern's got. They got the ideal situation where Portland High is building with their young players. So
right, here's a great chance by Gardner, and he shot it right into Gladchen at close range. Perhaps the best scoring opportunity by the Big Reds tonight.
Yeah, that was a good opportunity. He was trying to go upstairs with it too, and goaltender was there to stop it.
Josh Bennett wins the draw into the corner. Dennis Shannon does not come up with the puck. Matt Shannon, his brother, does. And now Chris Hall for the Huskies into the neutral zone. Josh Bennett, and as he did a little zigzag at the blue line, his right winger slipped in offside. 5:56 remaining in the second period.
And this freshman, Mr. Sheffer for Portland High School, is doing a fairly impressive job out there for a freshman.
He's vastly improved. Gotta believe he'll get a whole lot better just from the improvement he's made from last year. Pesky, Nate Heyer. Over to Chris Fagan playing wing. Josh Gardner behind the net. Back out to point where Sox sends it in just wide. Jason Fletcher, out comes Sheffer taking a look, skating with his head up. Curry, and here's a break. Jason Fletcher, cold breakaway. Wrist shot just wide. Didn't get all the lumber on that one. Here's a centering pass. Fletcher again. The dangerous Fletcher, point blank shoots. Stopped again. Another shot stopped. Fletcher with 3 great scoring chances. And the Big Reds finally send it the length of the ice with 4:46 remaining in the second period.
Well, Chris Sox at his best, and the one thing Port Huron High has been lucky with over the years, and you and I can go back a few, is they have been very fortunate in coming up with usually a decent goaltender every year.
That's very much needed ingredient for your hockey team. It takes a special breed of cat to be the person that's being shot at all the time. Van Ness, dangerous shot to the blue line, and the referee lost sight of it as the puck trickled out. A stoppage in play. 4:42 remaining, second period.
Yeah, as impressive as what the goaltender is as impressive as with the power that Northern's throwing at him too. So, and I don't see him backing off at all.
Hinton on the face-off with Ian Singer, and Brett stops that shot from point-blank range. Big Reds come up with a line change of Keith Thomas, Dennis Thick, and Hepting. Jeff Hepting, junior winger, making a turn out there. Thomas on the face-off with Justin Smith. Won by the Big Reds. Is Heinbuck behind the net. Hauled down by Diamond. Whistle on the play. Puck smothered in the corner with 4:30 remaining in the second period.
Yeah, Northern control most of the play again here in the second period, Don.
See some of the section 11 referees are at it.
Yeah, they get pretty boisterous from about here on till the end of the game.
All part of the game.
Yep.
Jason Newsbury. Yes, Bretz covers nicely on a great scoring chance. Didn't catch who the person was that almost scored. Van Ness taking up the center ice play. Shot into the zone by Heyer. Onside. Here's Jason Waite. Out comes the Big Reds with Dennis Thick. Slap shot, stopped easily by Gladchen, and then covered with 3:31 remaining second period.
Yeah, you know, and I mean, we know the game isn't over yet, and I'm usually not real kind to the referees when we get up here, but I can't be anything but kind. The game's been called real well. It's been a clean game, and they haven't let anything get out of control.
It's a veteran crew out there for sure. Truskowski failed to stop it at the blue line, and now we have a break with McGregor. Nice centering pass. Shot just wide by Rolling. And we're going to have a penalty.
Rolling for roughing, I think, Donnie.
He made a little contact with Bretz, and I believe that's what the call is.
Well, that just goes to reinforce what we just got done saying, that it's been a good referee game so far, and they're not letting any of the silly stuff get away with it.
If there's anything that can start a unpleasant situation on the ice, it's the goalie getting roughed up, because his teamites will come to his aid. and anything could happen then. Big Red power play for 2 minutes now. Jason Sheffer over to Scott the Truck Truskowski, who shoots it into the Husky zone. Back to the point to Sheffer again. Josh Gardner back to Sheffer, and now intercepted by McGregor and cleared back into the Big Red zone, where Dennis Shannon, a burst of speed to beat Fletcher, skating out to center ice. Beats another man, skates in, and then just loses the handle. Back to the point to Truskowski, over to Sheffer, shoots, and fanned on the puck. As Fletcher breaks out with the puck, stopped by Matt Shannon. To Dennis Shannon. Here comes Gardner, overskates the puck and offside. As Josh on this snowy ice late in the second period overskated the puck. 2:20 remaining, second period.
That little miscue down there by the Big Reds there kind of reminds you of the written rule in golf, where you only get so long before you take your shot to get it there. And the big problem with that was the Portland Big Red defenseman just took too long, and Northern took advantage of it.
Chris Sox clears the puck the length of the rink with just under a minute to go, and the man advantage of the Big Reds. And now we have a giveaway. Hinton, snapshot, covered by Moretz. Scramble in front of the net, kept out. As Ruthven doing a good job out there. Back to Chris Sox. Aaron Curry, sophomore defenseman, shoots it into the Big Red zone with 20 seconds remaining in the power play. Ruthven again. Keith Thomas now centers it out to Dennis Thick. Chris Sox stops him in the corner as Hinton loses control of the puck. Back to the point. Keith Thomas, snapshot deflected nicely by Alvera, stopped by Gladgen. Penalty over, 1:18 remaining in the second period. Huskies 4, Big Reds no score. There you have a close-up of Jeremy Van Ness, the junior defenseman, playing a strong game tonight. Talking things over with Justin Smith, getting ready for the face-off. Smith wins the draw to Van Ness. They plan that one. And out breaks the Huskies with Rolling. Takes a hit, and Justin Smith covered by Moretz with 1:05 remaining in the second period. Awfully close to an offside on the far wing there.
Well, Don, I'll entirely concur with you. I think it was a little more than awful close. I think it was awful obvious.
I think what happens sometimes at ice level, you're going to get the official's going to get screened out when the movement of a certain player gets in his way. That's really the sort of thing we can see better up here than they can at times. But we're in the rocking chair too, without any responsibility.
Yeah.
For making that call. Wrist shot as Matt Shannon tips it out to Josh Gardner, and Smear stops him temporarily. Gardner again nicely to the point. Truskowski, his shot doesn't get through. Sheffer, his shot doesn't get through. As Matt Shannon tried to pick that one out of the air. 38 seconds left. Sheffer stops Van Ness, but Van Ness still coming. Centering pass. As Truskowski helped keep that one out of the net. Gardner to Dennis Shannon, back to Gardner. Gary Diamond fights off Gardner for the puck. And with 13 seconds left, out comes the dangerous Rob Rolling, 205-pound forward. Wrist shot stopped nicely by Moretz. Truskowski clears it into the neutral zone, out of harm's way as the second period ends. The Huskies 4, Big Reds no score. We will now have a short intermission as the Zamboni comes out to do its work. And we'll be back in 15 minutes for the third and final period.